Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhara Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhara Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Manata Yamuna Tira Manata Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Gaura Premanandi. I think the weather has determined the size of the crowd tonight, but that's okay. All of you that came means you want to be here, so that's good. Despite obstacles. Me too. I've had a cold, that's why I couldn't sing. 3 days ago I had to whisper my japa, but I can at least talk now a little bit. This is, as you see on the screen, this is part 3 of a series about the pastimes of Lord Nityananda. And this evening we're going to focus on the later pastimes of Lord Nityananda, and we're also going to be sing a very nice song glorifying Lord Nityananda, Nitai Pada Kamala. One of the foremost authors of both Gaura Lila and Nityananda Lila is Vrindavan Das Thakur. Vrindavan Das Thakur was particularly devoted to Lord Nityananda. To be devoted to Lord Nityananda means you're also devoted to Lord Chaitanya, but he was particularly devoted to Lord Nityananda. So he wrote, in addition to what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote, Chaitanya Charitamrita, he wrote Nityananda Charitamrita. And it's a very wonderful literature, and there are pastimes in it which we're going to hear this evening, which are not found in other sources. Vrindavan Das Thakur had a lot of, not just information, but a lot of affection and appreciation, you'll see as we go along. And he had a way of expressing himself that was otherworldly. As you hear, I'm purposely going to read some things so that you can understand the otherworldly language, the otherworldly perception that he had of Nityananda. It's pretty wild. So here's a verse from Antya Lila. Antya means the concluding pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. All glories to Lord Nityananda, the dearmost associate of Sri Gauranga. No one is equal to you in the three worlds. You are the reservoir of transcendental bliss which bestows prema bhakti for Mahaprabhu. So that's a guru function, a guru tattva function. Tomorrow we're going to hear more about this teaching, just as Balaram, so also Nityananda, they're carrying or manifesting or exhibiting the Guru Tattva principle, that is, giving prema bhakti for Mahaprabhu. Those who serve you achieve pure devotional service. O Lord, you deliver all the fallen souls, forgiving their grave offenses. Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda are the two matchless lords who appeared for the good fortune of this world. That is to say, when Lord Chaitanya is called the golden avatar, one who descends, and there's a place from which they descend. Many of you know, but in case you didn't know, their eternal place of residence is in Krishna Loka. Look carefully next time you have a first canto Srimad Bhagavatam, and the graphics there, Srila Prabhupada arranged the original first canto Bhagavatam in 3 parts to have these graphics where there's the picture, down here is the material world, little corner, and then there's the vast spiritual sky, and within the vast spiritual sky, there's many spiritual planets, Vaikuntha planets, and topmost amongst those Vaikuntha planets is Goloka. You've seen Goloka? It's shaped like a lotus. And there's 4 sections described in the scriptures, but also depicted in that original painting. And over in this corner, look closely, you'll see Lord Chaitanya and his associates having kirtan. Eternally in Goloka Vrindavan. And from that place, known as Svetadweep, they descend. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, the 2 brothers, as Krishna and Balaram are brothers. They're eternal associates. They're brothers in a loving sense, not in a otherwise sense. Where we left off from part 2 was Lord Nityananda was a dear associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyas, he informed his brother first. And Nityananda started to cry. He put his arms around his shoulders and, why are you doing this? And he gave his transcendental reasons. The transcendental reason is for bestowing the Yuga Dharma to the world. And he wanted Nityananda to be with him in that service. And so he accepted, took sannyas, and then by another divine arrangement, Mother Sachi came to see him in Svetadweep, in the place where Advaita Acharya made as his home or his place of residence. And she came and requested, my son, now you're Sri Krishna Chaitanya, you've taken sannyas, and you're not going to stay. But if you go to Vrindavan, which I know is your desire, then I may never hear of you again. You know, geographically, Bengal and Vrindavan are very far away. But you're so attracted to Krishna, if you go to Puri, Krishna is also in Puri. So can you make your residence in Puri? And Lord Chaitanya said, I don't know what got hold of me, and I was in a state of madness, but it's done, and I've already taken sannyas vows, so you're my eternal mother, and whatever you say. So he went to Puri instead of Vrindavan, at least initially. And on the way, Nityananda was given charge of carrying his danda. The sannyasi carries two things, a water pot and a danda, kamandala and danda. So at a place where in their vision, they could see the dome of the Jagannath temple, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go pay respects at a Kopiteshwara temple of Lord Shiva. And so he entrusted his danda to Nityananda, who broke his danda and threw it in the river. First gave a lecture to the danda. Who do you think you are? My Lord and Master, the Master of the three worlds, doesn't need the austerity of carrying a danda. So he broke the danda and threw the danda in the river. When Lord Chaitanya came back, as if he didn't know what was going to happen, he was surprised. What have you done? My only possession in this world is this danda, and you broke it and threw it in the river? Well, in a swoon of ecstasy, you fell on the danda. He lied. And the danda broke. So I threw it in the river. And if you feel that I should be punished, then punish me as you wish. And then the statement, we ended yesterday, the last class on this topic. Lord Chaitanya said, I don't want to travel with you anymore. You go ahead, you all go to, because there were a few with them, you go to Puri, see Jagannath, I'll come later. Or, you stay here, I'll go, and you can come later. No, you go. So he went. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered purposely. He entered Jagannath temple alone. And, XYZ happened when he came before Jagannath. He fainted in ecstasy of love of Godhead. And then a series of other events happened with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, etc. So here, this is a painting showing Nityananda down the trail, seeing the dome of the Jagannath temple. And when they got to the Jagannath temple, Lord Chaitanya wasn't there, but they heard about this sannyasi that had fainted in the middle of the temple room floor, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took him to his home. They were going to toss him out of the temple. Who was this crazy fellow? But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, no. Arrange for him to come to my home. So there, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was attempting to revive Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One of the things, this is a detail, one of the things that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya wanted to do was to see if he was faking. Faking. So he took a piece of cotton and pulled the little fibers and held the little fibers in front of his nostrils. Because if he was faking, then the movement of the fibers would move like somebody's breathing, but he wasn't breathing. His life air was suspended. So he knew he wasn't faking. He's in a trance, seeing Lord Jagannath. So this is an ordinary person. And he tried this and tried that to revive him. Nothing worked. And then the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, headed by Nityananda, they were sent to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's home. So there's Lord Nityananda acting like Anantashesh, because that's one of the expansions of Nityananda. one of the 5 expansions that are described in Adi Lila chapter 5. All these books, this is, I assume it's Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Adi Lila, beginning portion, chapter 5 is all about Lord Nityananda. And there it describes these 5 manifestations of Lord Nityananda. Ananta Shesha is one of those 5. So there he is, Lord Chaitanya, who is the original personality of Godhead, reclining on Ananta Shesha, or the lap of Lord Nityananda. The devotees knew what to do. They loudly chanted the holy name. And through loudly chanting of the holy name, Lord Chaitanya came out of that trance and came to external consciousness and looked around and saw the devotees as if he didn't know what happened. He didn't say, like, where am I? What happened? He knew. So then from that point on, there was another very series of events. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before the Jagannath deity, and there's Nityananda making sure that the same thing doesn't happen again to Lord Chaitanya. Lose external consciousness and enter into a trance. So he was, as the in the feature of Ananta Shesha, he's providing all kinds of assistance, including looking for the well-being of Lord Chaitanya. This is a drawing, again, from the same book, Nityananda Charitamrita, where there's the 2 lords, Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, having lunch together at Gambhira. Gambhira is the place where the king, Prataparudra, made an arrangement for Lord Chaitanya to stay. I mean, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita is called the House of Kashi Mishra. But, the House of Kashi Mishra doesn't just mean like one of your suburban houses over here. It's the House of Kashi Mishra. It's a big place. It has many facilities and many rooms. And by indication, the room should be very simple and reasonably small and has privacy from the rest of anybody and everything, so he can have privacy. So it has a perfect room, Gambhira. And there's Govinda, the servant, who was serving the meals. Now there's a description without all the detail because of time, but Nityananda didn't eat the way that most people eat. Earlier, he wouldn't eat unless Srivas Pandit's wife fed him with her own hand. Like, goo goo gaga. He was like a little child. He couldn't eat unless she fed him with her hand. He was a transcendental avaduta. We're going to hear more as we go forward. So he would take some food and throw it on the floor and say something loudly. And exactly what he was saying wasn't clear to everybody else, but that was his system of eating. That's not normally how people eat. They don't throw their food on the floor. And Govinda just was watching all this and wondering, he's a madman. But he's Lord Chaitanya's brother. So he didn't speak any ill, but what kind of person is this Nityananda? Together, the 2 did what they were doing before in Navadvip, which was massive Sankirtan, and the devotees in Puri loved it. And the many, many nice paintings of their Sankirtan in Jagannath Puri. Lord Chaitanya with shaved head and sannyas dhoti, and Lord Nityananda next to him. There's a nice teaching that this painting is meant to illustrate. Even when when Nityananda was alone and with other Vaishnavas, he would have kirtan and dance. There's a statement that says that when Lord Nityananda would sing and dance, Lord Chaitanya would come just to be present because of their affection and affinity for transcendental affection and affinity for one another. Of course, the Rath Yatra pastimes and so forth. Nice paintings. Jagannath Puri Temple in the background. This is the procession of the 3 carts on the way to Gundicha Temple. And here's a scene that happened regularly. The 2 personalities that were constant companions of Lord Chaitanya while he was in Puri were these 2, Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy. And very, very elevated, very confidential discussions that made their way into Chaitanya Charitamrita, at least some of them, because one of those 2, that's Swarup Damodar, kept a diary, Kadacha, and in his diary, he described the conversations and the ecstasies and many, many amazing features that one would never know except he put that in his diary. And that diary was later given to Raghunath Das Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami had the diary and he explained everything to the devotees in Vrindavan. So now we have it in Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you want to know confidentially what did they discuss, you can eavesdrop. Pretty special, huh? I mean, to be there is one thing. To eavesdrop, although you weren't there, that's something special also. So for some period of time, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda stayed in Puri together. And then at a certain point in time, the Sankirtan spirit grew and grew, and the whole of Puri was already a virtuous place, a place of pilgrimage, and everyone was sent into outer space because of the presence of these 2 lords. And then there's a very nice description, as you see on the screen here, in Nityananda Charitamrita. I'm going to start reading now. In Antya Lila chapter 4, Lord Chaitanya feels that the chanting that's going on here should go far and wide throughout the land. And so he requested Nityananda to be his assistant to do that. And I'm going to read his words. It's very nice. So I'm reading from chapter 4 of Antya Lila Nityananda Charitamrita. Lord Chaitanya said, "Listen, magnanimous Nityananda, go immediately to Navadvip. I had promised that I would drown everyone, including fools, fallen, and sinful people, in the ocean of Krishna Prema. If you remain here with me as an ascetic, keeping a vow of silence and concealing your enthusiasm, then who will deliver the fallen souls of this world?" His mission. You are the bestower of love and devotion. Please tell me, if you always restrain yourself, then what is the use of your incarnation? This is now Vrindavan Das Thakur. He loves Nityananda. If you make my words prove true, go to Bengal at once. Deliver everyone by giving prema bhakti to all the foolish, fallen, low class, and distressed people. Instructed by Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda Prabhu promptly left for Bengal along with his own associates. Here's a list, a short list. Ramdas, Gadadhar Das, and Raghunath Vaidya, Krishnadas Pandit, Parameshwara, and the most blissful Purandara Pandit, that's 6, went with Nityananda Swarup to Bengal. As he began his journey, he first induced his associates to become greatly ecstatic so that they practically forgot themselves. There was no end to the ecstatic symptoms that arose in their bodies. And examples. The mood of Sri Gopal manifested in the body of Ram Das, the foremost among all the Vaishnavas. On the way to Bengal, Ram Das transformed into a threefold bending form and remained unconscious for 9 hours. Gadadhar Das, absorbed in the mood of Radhika, suddenly began to laugh loudly while saying, "Who will buy yogurt?" The magnanimous Raghunath Vaidya Upadhyaya displayed the mood of Revati. Both Krishna Das and Parameshwara Das constantly made mischief in the mood of cowherd boys. Purandara Pandit climbed up a tree and then jumped down, saying, "I am the great Angada." Nityananda Prabhu, the origin of Sri Ananta, inspired everyone to revive his original constitutional mood. The devotees walked very fast, sometimes forgetting themselves, so that they walked in the wrong direction. They often asked the local people, "Brothers, please tell us how to reach the shore of the Ganga." "Alas, alas, you're on the wrong path," the people would reply. "You just wasted 6 hours on your journey." Getting proper directions, they would return to the correct path later on. When again they asked for the right path, people told them to take the 21-mile detour to reach the correct path. All of them smiled, walking as they walked along the road. They hardly knew their own selves, and so what to speak of the roads? None of them felt the urges of the body, such as hunger, thirst, fear, or distress. They were completely merged in the transcendental ecstatic, the transcendental ecstasy. No one can describe the unlimited pastimes of Nityananda Prabhu performed in this way on the way to Bengal. So that was 2 chapters, 4 and 5. Now, coming to the next chapter, they're on their way. One of the places they stopped was Shaptagram. Shaptagram is a place where Udaran Dutt Thakur resided, a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. And he was already existing there, and he had a lot of love and devotion, a lot of kirtan ecstasy. So he had already helped many residents become Vaishnavas. They were naturally inclined anyways. The picture is Bengal was a bed of Chaitanya Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And Saptagram, which is the place where the Saptarishis underwent austerities for some period of time. That was how it got its message, or its name. And he, Nityananda, went to every home in Saptagram, and with his associates had kirtan. You can imagine the kind of kirtan they had. You know, not sedate, but the other kind. Ecstatic and dancing and singing and behaving in out of this world ways. In this way, that the summary of this chapter is they acted, Nityananda and his associates acted in such a way that all the merchants there became wonderful devotees. He stayed there for some time in Saptagram, and then he went to Shantipur to meet with Advaitacharya. And when he met with Advaitacharya, there, in Nityananda's biography, there's two descriptions. I'll share this. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada writes something that also Bhaktisiddhanta writes in Chaitanya Bhagavat in his commentary, and that is there are two opinions about who was the Diksha Guru of Nityananda. Some say Madhavendra Puri, who was the Diksha Guru of Advaitacharya. So it makes them god brothers. And they're meeting together. And not only they're meeting together, their moods are the same as Madhavendra Puri, this ecstatic mood, beyond the regulative mood, ecstatic mood, spontaneous loving mood. They had that kind of way of relating to one another. There's a second opinion that says Nityananda accepted Madhavendra Puri like his guru, but he was initiated by the guru of Madhavendra Puri, Lakshmipati Tirtha, in Pandharpur. So if you attended one of the earlier sessions, we had this little discussion. Because one of the first places for the 20-year pilgrimage that Lord Nityananda went on, one of the first places he went was Pandharpur. And one of the first things that happened, a 12-year-old young man received Diksha from, according to that description, from Lakshmipati Tirtha. In any case, he went to Shantipur. And when he went to Shantipur, Advaitacharya was very happy. Very happy. Very happy. I wanted to read I mentioned this other section. It's in chapter 5. One of those 6 people that went with Lord Chaitanya, went Nityananda from Puri to Navadvip, was Gadadhar Das. Gadadhar Das, during this period of time, there was Muslim rule. So Vaishnavas were, on the one hand, a little fearful, but on the other hand, the Muslim ruler couldn't just convert people into being Muslims because they were ruling another country. So there was tension, to say the least. So in Gadadhar Das's hometown, I'm going to read. Completely absorbed in love of God, Nityananda Prabhu stayed at the house of Gadadhar Das. Gadadhar Das was absorbed in trance as he induced everyone to chant the holy name of Hari. And there was a Qazi, because that was under the king, the Qazi that ruled that district. He was known to be very cruel, mean-spirited, and would harm, sometimes kill Vaishnavas. Fully absorbed in spiritual bliss, Gadadhar fearlessly went one night to the house of this Qazi, of whom everyone was afraid. Chanting the holy names of Lord Hari, he entered the Qazi's house. All the guards and servants of the Qazi saw him, but no one dared to confront him, like a transcendental madman. Gadadhar said, "Where is the Qazi? Chant the name of Krishna right now, or I'll tear off all your heads." The Qazi came out of his room with anger that blazed like fire. Seeing Gadadhar Das, however, he became somewhat calm. The Qazi asked, Gadadhar, why did you come here? I have something to tell you. Sri Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda Prabhu have appeared in this world and have made everyone chant the holy name of Lord Hari. You are the only one who has not chanted the holy name of the Lord. That is why I have come to you. Chant now the most auspicious holy name of Lord Hari, for they will deliver you from your sins. The holy names of Lord Hari, for they will deliver you from all your sins. By nature, the Kazi was most envious. Being stunned, he didn't utter a word. The Kazi smiled and said, listen, Gadadhar, tomorrow I will chant the holy name of Lord Hari, but for today, please go home. As soon as Gadadhar Das heard the name of Hari from the mouth of the Kazi, he became filled with ecstatic love. Why tomorrow, he said, you have just chanted the name of Hari. Now no misfortune will ever befall you because you have chanted the name of Hari. So he raised his arms and danced out of his house. End of story. Those are the kinds of associates that Lord Nityananda traveled with. And he inspired them to be madmen like him. So now moving along. He reached Navadvip, and his first place when he went to Navadvip was to visit Mother Sachi. And Mother Sachi said, just today I was meditating on you and my son, and you just appeared. So this is providential arrangement. So Lord Nityananda said, I came here just to see you. And you are thinking of me, and I'm thinking of you. She appealed to him, please stay here. Console me because I have no son to be present with me. So you can be my second son. You can be with me. And he just they made the reassurances back and forth. And he made his residence for some time in Navadvip, which was an instruction given to him by Lord Chaitanya. So while he was in Navadvip, he drew a lot of attention because he did the same thing in Navadvip that he did in the previous places. That is, in every home, they had this wild, ecstatic or transcendental, what do you want to call it, kirtan. Madness of kirtan every evening, different homes. And this way, the whole of the city of Navadvip or town of Navadvip became transcendentally enlivened. And again and again and again, as would happen, he's not a sannyasi. He's not, hasn't taken vows of sannyas. He has hair and everything, but he is acting like a sannyasi. On the other hand, people were giving him gifts. So people, renunciates, people give gifts. And then he would wear all these ornaments and jewelry. There's a very gaudy description of how he decorated himself in fine garments and ornaments and pearl necklaces and this and that and the other. And that created a problem. The problem was created not for him, but for the bandits. They thought, look at all this gold, look at all these pearls, look at all these jewels. This man's a walking, treasury. So there was doesn't give his name, but a man who previously was a Brahmana, but he was acting just the opposite. A little different than Jagai and Madhai. Jagai and Madhai just became fallen. This man was a robber, and he was the brain behind a gang of robbers. So as you see from the painting, the chief robber made a plan. Let's get him. And he's staying at the house of Hadai Pandit. And Hadai Pandit lives outside of Navadvip in a secluded place. So in the dead of night, we'll attack him and steal and take about an hour, and we'll be able to plunder everything, and we'll come away rich. And they started, dividing. I'll take the pearl necklace, and I'll take the bangles, and I'll take his ankle ornaments, and the silver, and this and that. They had their plan. Who was going to get what before they did their dirty business. But they were, had one. They were in samadhi. They were very focused. So the first evening, when they came, Nityananda was outside having his evening meal, and there were many devotees, and all the devotees were chanting the holy name. It wasn't just, an eating festivity. It was a kirtan festivity, and he was eating. So then they were talking amongst themselves with their choppers and their tridents and their swords and their this and their that, their weapons. After the kirtan ends and he goes to sleep, that's when we'll get him. So that was their plan. So they waited. And as fortune had it, they fell asleep. And they didn't wake up until the cock crowed in the morning and the sun rose, and we missed our chance. So they went back and told the honcho, the chief guy, the previous Brahmin, a fallen man, the leader of the rogues and bandits. He said, Goddess Chandi has made this arrangement. We accept it. We will have another day tomorrow. You go to your homes, and we'll go again to the following evening. So the following evening they came. And the following evening when they came, they were really surprised. As you see in this drawing here, there were all these guards marching up and down, tall men with powerful weapons. And here, they don't know where they came from. So they understood these men are tall, powerful, and one of them can defeat 10 of us. So they went back and told their ringleader, we didn't do anything because these men were too powerful. Where'd they come from anyways? They started speculating. Maybe Haranya Pandit has a wealthy person, aristocratic person, and these are his bodyguards. And so, but the wealthy person will go away after some days, and we'll come back after some days, and we'll have chance number 3. So that's what they did. When they came back the third time, here's what happened. At the dead of this black night, the thieves armed themselves with weapons and assembled. When they approached the Lord's house, they were suddenly blinded and could not see anything. This sudden blindness so shocked the thieves that their minds, intelligence, and life airs almost ceased to function. One fell in a ditch and was immediately covered by mosquitoes, leeches, and gadflies. Another fell into the pit where people washed their hands after eating, and scorpions and bugs bit him. Another thief fell onto a heap of thorns. He suffered miserably from the prickling of the thorns and could not move. Another one fell in a ditch and broke his hands and legs. Some of the thieves got a very severe high fever. As the thieves were in this state of confusion, Indra, the king of heaven, happily sent forth showers of rain, creating a great storm. First, the thieves were tortured by the bites of leeches and bugs, and now they suffered from a hailstorm. They wished for death to come, but life would not leave them. So they floated an ocean of miseries. The force of their heavy gale and pounding of hail and the loud peals of thunder rendered them almost unconscious. The downpour completely drenched the thieves, and due to the cold, they shivered uncontrollably. So Indra protected them. That's how they put two and two together and said Indra came and did all this. They went back and informed the head guy. This is what happened. Their eyesight was restored, but when they came to plunder, their eyesight was taken away. And then this and that happened. So on the third time around, the head guy figured out that this is an ordinary personality. How it is that he has all this opulence, I don't understand. But he's an extraordinary person. So he came privately in a very humble mood and confessed everything. And omniscient Lord Nityananda didn't scold him or say, yes, I knew all along or anything like that. He said, all of you've just expressed some bad intention. I forgive you. Squeaky clean. You're forgiven for all of your bad intentions. Only one thing. Don't ever do this again. It's, same to Jagai Madai. Stop your sinful activities. And if you abide by that principle, then you'll achieve the highest state of consciousness. And he gave him, Lord Nityananda, hearing all this confession, gave him his garland and honored him and say, conduct yourself like a gentleman. Become a Vaishnava. Oh, that transformation of thieves and rogues. That's part of Lord Nityananda's mercy. I read this. So, the next chapter, we were still in Navadvip, and there's a Brahmana in Navadvip that saw the opulence of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, and how he conducted himself, and he was disturbed. Then later he went on pilgrimage to Puri, and there he met Lord Chaitanya. He knew the connection between the two. So he requested permission for a private conversation, and here's what he said during that private conversation. I don't understand what this Nityananda Avaduta is doing in Navadvip. Everyone says that he's a sannyasi, but Nityananda decorates his whole body with gold, silver, and pearls. Abandoning kopin and saffron robes, he dresses himself with fine and gorgeous clothing. He also puts sandalwood paste on his body. Why does he carry an iron stick instead of a sannyas danda? He always mingles with Shudras. I don't find his behavior in accord with the scriptures, so I have a doubt in my heart. Everyone addresses him as an exalted person, but he doesn't follow the rules and regulations of his ashram. Disclosing his heart to Lord, very, very directly to Lord Chaitanya. The Lord Chaitanya hears the whole thing, and then hear his reply very carefully. It's very nice. It's many pages. I'm just going to read portions of it. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Srimad Bhagavatam references, like 10 of them, one after the next, that says there isn't a material qualification to become a Vaishnava, and there isn't a material disqualification even for the most exalted Vaishnavas. So he gave scriptural reference from the Bhagavatam, and then I'm going to start reading. Those criticizing an exalted person without knowing of his glories suffers miseries life after life from this fault. Even if an exalted person does something improper, what to speak of criticizing him? If one even laughs at him, he is doomed. So then he gives, after giving all these scriptural references, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the following history. Once Krishna and Balaram went to the ashram of Sandipani Muni. And in the ashram of Sandipani Muni, when it came time to graduate, there was Guru Dakshin, and Sandipani Muni requested his wife, is there something that you would like that we could ask as Dakshin? She said, yes, my son was taken away shortly after his birth. Can these two, Krishna and Sandipani Muni, Krishna and Sudama, bring them back? So that was the assignment. So what did Krishna do? Krishna went to the abode of Yamaraj. Krishna and Balaram went to the abode of Yamaraj. After destroying the child's karma, they brought the boy back to their teacher from the abode of Yamaraj. Thank you very much. Anything else we can do for you? No, that's more than enough. So they went back home. So then when they went back home, Devaki had already heard the news. You just returned the dead son of Sandipani Muni. I had 6 sons that were taken from me. Could you bring them back? Right? 6 sons of Devaki. And so Krishna agreed. But this time he didn't go to Yamaraj. He went to the abode of Bali Maharaj. And the abode of Bali Maharaj is in the lower regions of the universe. That was assigned to him. When Bali Maharaj saw Krishna, he was in ecstasy. And after his ecstasy, hair standing on end and so forth and so on, Krishna gave his reason why he had come. There's some very nice prayers. Lord Krishna, exceedingly pleased with Bali, began to explain the reason for his visit. Listen, Bali Maharaj, the sinful Kamsa killed my mother's 6 sons. Thus, he also finally died, Kamsa. Remembering her sons, Mother Devaki continually cries in lamentation. Those 6 sons are with you, and I want to take them back for the pleasure of my mother. Now, how did they get themselves in that predicament? These 6 sons are actually perfected demigods, grandsons of Lord Brahma. When these 6 sons previously were the sons of Prajapati Marichi, who was the son of Brahma, once Brahma was so bewildered by lusty desires, he shamelessly chased after his own daughter. Seeing the behavior of Brahma, the 6 sons of Marichi laughed. Because of this fault, they once fell from their positions. Since they ridiculed the activities of an exalted person, they were forced to take birth among the demons. Leaving their demigod bodies, they took birth in the family of Hiranyakashipu, who terrorized the universe. They suffered various miseries and were ultimately killed by the thunderbolt of Indra. By the arrangement of Yogamaya, these 6 sons of Marichi took birth from the womb of Devaki. Simply by laughing at Brahma's misbehavior, they incurred so many sinful reactions. Thus, they had to undergo these punishments. From their very birth, they suffered unlimited distress. Though they were nephews of Kamsa, he killed them all. Devaki is unaware of these mysteries. She simply cries, considering them as her own sons. I wish to return those 6 sons to my mother. That is why I've come here. So the lesson to this Brahmana who was criticizing Lord Nityananda, here's the lesson. Oh Bali, considering the consequences of ridiculing a Vaishnava, if perfect personalities like these receive so much misery, it will be the fate of ordinary men. A sinner who criticizes a Vaishnava suffers misery birth after birth. Take this lesson to your heart. Never blaspheme or laugh at a Vaishnava. If one worships me and chants my holy names, but blasphemes devotees, he will be vanquished. Those who show love and respect to my devotees will surely obtain my favor. There is no doubt about this. So the Vaishnava from Navadvip became very sobered. Taking the words of Lord Chaitanya, who he had great respect for, he turned and thought of the conduct, the character, the ornaments, the so forth and so on of Nityananda, and he withdrew his mental criticism and shifted to the place of respect. Then we're almost ready to finish. This is Lord Chaitanya embracing Lord Nityananda, and he is informing Lord Nityananda, they're back in Jagannath Puri, I'd like you to get married. And Lord Nityananda objected and said, your chief associates are all sannyasis. So why are you wishing this from me? Lord Chaitanya's answer was very simple. I just see you that way. And so that was it. And so Nityananda now has a new assignment. Get married. And when it became known that Lord Nityananda was going to get married under the order of Lord Chaitanya, there was a bit of a search for who's going to marry this Avaduta Brahmin. And there's different pictures. One of those pictures, for those of you that were with us earlier, you remember Gauridas Pandit. Gauridas Pandit is one of the intimate associates of Lord Chaitanya, who he informed before he accepted sannyas. And deity of Bornatai were manifest in his home by Lord Chaitanya. So that Gauridas Pandit had a brother. His brother was Suryadas. The name, the title of his occupation was Sarakale. So Suryadas Sarakale. He was a wealthy man. And there's his home. And Suryadas Sarakale, if you visit in Navadvip, it's a nice place to visit if you go there, or go with a group or something like that. And here's the place where Nityananda, there's details and details, but because of time, I'm not going to go into the details. There were two daughters of Suryadas. Janava was one, and the other, Krishna, Vasudha. Thank you. So this is a drawing of the two. This is the place. Nityananda's footprint is there. That's inside that little shrine. And this is the sitting place where the marriage occurred. It's a long description in this Nityananda Charitamrita. And where the wedding occurred, and many people, etc., etc., etc. It was a big, splendid wedding because they're exalted personalities. So here's a deity, an older image of deity of Lord Nityananda. And Here's a more modern image of the Lord Nityananda with his two wives on either side. And there was one son, Virabhadra. Virabhadra became well known in Ekachakra, in the place near the place where Nityananda was born. And because of time, I'm just going to run through these other slides. This is Nityananda in his later pastimes. He is now married, and one of the services that he did was he accompanied the devotees that went from Navadvip to Puri to attend Rath Yatra. This is Shivananda Sain, who was getting kicked in the chest by Nityananda because he was late one day. He was hungry, so he kicked him in the chest. And the wife of Shivananda Sain started crying and boo-hoo, and Shivananda saying, why are you crying? This is mercy. Advaita Acharya said, that hearing of this event, I was always respected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so I had to speak some impersonal philosophy, Yoga Vashishta, that liberation in the state of monism is the ideal goal of life. When I was speaking like that, Lord Chaitanya admonished me. So in order to get him upset, I had to do misconduct. So consider yourself very fortunate. There's other nice examples. Another very nice example, which we've already discussed. This is Raghunath Das Goswami tried and tried and tried again and tried in so many ways to get free from his father and uncle, because his father and uncle were fabulously wealthy and he was the only son, and they wanted him to inherit their wealth and conduct their business. There's details and details. Because of time, we're not going to go into the details. Finally, a little light went on, and that was Raghunath Das understood, I haven't gotten the mercy of Lord Nityananda, because it's by the mercy of Lord Nityananda that one can get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So he came to the home of Raghava Pandit. They were having a big Sankirtan festival in Panihati, the home of Raghava Pandit. And Raghunath Das Goswami was called forward by Lord Nityananda, ordering him to feed everybody. So it was a big festival, chipped rice and yogurt, chipped rice and condensed milk, big festival. And Lord Nityananda placed his foot on his head, saying, you served all the Vaishnavas so wonderfully that Lord Chaitanya personally came and partake of the prasad and the kirtan with everybody. So you're going to get Lord Chaitanya's mercy. And he went further and said, when you go to Puri, you'll be placed in the care of Swarup Damodar, and you'll learn everything about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes through him. So go back home, everything is going to be nice. So this is when they had this festival, Lord Chaitanya came, because Lord Chaitanya would come whenever Lord Nityananda would dance in the kirtan. So he came. And he accepted the prasad as well. It's a very special event, and the mercy, the two lessons out of all of this, and I'm going to end. Don't mess with Lord Nityananda. Second lesson, if you want the association of Lord Chaitanya, get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And then you're putting the lesson very simply. So these are lessons. This is the concluding section of this nice discussion about Lord Nityananda. Here's another verse, and then we're going to sing a song. Yes? Are we ready for the song? You're ready. Do you need the harmonium? He's going to be the harmonium player, and you're just going to sing. Okay. Here's a nice verse. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always appeared in 4 places: in the house hold temple of Mother Sachi, in the places where Nityananda Prabhu danced, in the house of Srivas Pandit during congregational chanting, and in the house of Raghava Pandit. He appeared because of his attraction to the love of his devotees. That is his natural characteristic. Okay. So there's, again, Lord Chaitanya appearing when Nityananda is dancing. And I'm going to go through these. Something we heard at the very beginning about the life of, in Ekra Chakra, the life of Lord Nityananda, he found a deity, Bankam Roy. He left this world entering into the body of that deity. That's what's pictured here. Okay. So Nitai Pada Kamala. Many of you know this song. If you don't know this song, it's a nice song to learn. Take the microphone, give her the microphone. We're done. You're ready. Take the whole thing. Take the whole thing. Take the microphone stand and microphone and the whole shebang.
Children are supposed to sing a bhajan as well. Children are singing, the Sunday school children are also singing one bhajan. Okay, sure. Nitai pada kamala Koti chandra sushitala Nitai যে ছায়ায় জগৎ জুড়ায় যে ছায়ায় জগৎ জুড়ায় যে ছায়ায় হেন নিতাই বিনে ভাই রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাইতে নাই দৃঢ় করি ধর নিতাইর পায় দৃঢ় করি ধর নিতাইর পায় সে সম্বন্ধ নাহি যার বৃথা জন্ম গেল তার সেই সম্বন্ধ সেই পশু বড় দুরাচার সেই পশু বড় দুরাচার নিতাই না বলিল মুখে মজিল
সংসার সুখে বিদ্যা কুলে কি করিবে তার বিদ্যা কুলে কি করিবে তার অহংকারে মত্ত হইয়া নিতাই পদ পাশরিয়া অহংকারে অসত্যের সত্য করিমানি অসত্যের সত্য করিমানি নিতাইয়ের করুণা হবে নিতাইয়ের করুণা হবে ব্রজে রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাবে এর করুণা ধরণী তাই চরণ দুখানি ধরণী তাই চরণ দুখানি নিতাইয়ের চরণ সত্য তাহার সেবক নিত্য নিতাইয়ের চরণ নিতাই পদ সদা করো আশা নিতাই পদ সদা করো আশা নরোত্তম বড় দুঃখী নিতাই মোরে কর সুখী রাখো রাঙা চরণের পাশা রাখো রাঙা চরণের পার রাখো হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram.
Yes? No? Yes. Okay. Translation, and then the kids can get ready. The lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Echo, echo, echo. Are a shelter of where one will get the soothing moonlight of not only of one, but of millions of moons. If the world wants to have real peace, it should take shelter of Lord Nityananda. Unless one takes shelter under the shade of lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, it will be very difficult for him to approach Radha Krishna. If one actually wants to enter into the dancing party of Radha Krishna, he must firmly catch hold of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Anyone who has not established his relationship with Nityananda Prabhu is understood to have spoiled his valuable human birth. Such a human being is actually an uncontrollable animal. Because he never uttered the holy name of Nityananda, he has become merged into so-called material happiness. What can his useless education and family tradition do to help him? Being maddened after false prestige and identification with the body, one is thinking, oh, what is Nityananda? What can he do for me? I don't care. The result is accepting something false to be truth. If you actually want to approach the association of Radha Krishna, you must first achieve the mercy of Lord Nityananda. When he is merciful toward you, then you will be able to approach Radha Krishna. Therefore, you should firmly grasp the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. The lotus feet of Nityananda are not illusion, they're fact. One who engages in the transcendental loving service of Nityananda is also transcendental. Always try to catch the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. This, Narottam Das, is very unhappy. Therefore, I am praying to Lord Nityananda to make me happy. My dear Lord, please keep me close to your lotus feet. Nitaipada Kamala, very celebrated song. And now we're ready. Do you need a microphone?
Hare Krishna. First of all, I would like to offer our gratitude to Maharaj for coming here and orienting our minds to the lotus feet of Sriman Nityananda Prabhu, as well as he's been speaking on Lord Nityananda these past few days, helping us prepare our consciousness towards this festival. So our gratitude from the core of our hearts. So while children are getting ready, they are going to be singing Parama Karuna by Lochan Das Thakur. I guess I'll make other announcements after they are done singing. So we need 2 microphones, right? Where's the other microphone? Okay.
Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitayola Chandra Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitayola Chandra Avatara Sarashino Mani Kevala Nanda Kanda Shobhani Danyanita Sudrida Vishwasa Pariki Jaya Chadiya Sera Se Majiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitaya Chandra Kore Bhavanena Pemona Doya Data Pashupaki Jure Pashana Vidare Shuni Jandra Guna Gatha Karuna Pahudiyana Nitayo Chandra Sare Majiya Rohili Poriya Sepade Nahi Lohasa Apana Karama Bhunjaye Samana Kahoye Lochana Dasa Parama Karuna Pahuduyana Nitaya Parama Karuna Pahuduyana Makaruna Pahuduyana Nitaya Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol
Hari Bo! So such a big festival is not possible without much effort from many, many devotees, be it the beautiful decorations and the ornamentations and the dressing of Shri Radha Shamasundar. So our gratitude goes to so many devotees, the DT department, the decoration department, the garland department, the communications department, the fundraising department, the cooking and the cleaning department. So many departments have come together to put together this festival. Specifically, we'd like to thank Srinivas Sharan Prabhu, who I think is the cook for today. Shrikant, he's assisted by Shrikant Sen Prabhu, Gadadhar Chandra Prabhu, Hari Charan Prabhu, Srinath Prabhu, Devi Gopi Mataji, Chandrika Shankar Mataji, Rashmi Mataji, Gaura Kishore Prabhu. All of them helped in cooking tonight's feast. And the cleaning team, it was led by Vrindavan Prabhu. I think right now he's going to be helped by Haridwani Prabhu and Hari Charan Prabhu. They do request 2 more devotees. If anyone is able to help after 8 o'clock, please do get into the kitchen and do the work. And we'd also like to thank the Chintamani Mataji for the beautiful bhajan and the children, Sunday school children who were trained by Prem Kishori Mataji. So thank you all very, very much.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. I know you all are hungry, so we'll make this quick, but we want to thank all our sponsors for today. So as I announce your name, please come quickly and take prasadam from Brahmapad Swami Maharaj. So Radhika and Kunal Hanswala. I don't think they're here. They are our grand sponsor for the today's program. Then we have Festival Prasadam sponsored by Dr. Ram Mohan Rao, Leela Rao, Srinidhi and family. I think they also left. Dr. Hemlata Meena Gupta and Dr. Aditya Gupta and family. Next is Nitin Salagar Prabhu and family. Next is Raj Bhoga sponsorship, Rupesh Unnati Kothari and family. Sarojini and Subramaniam and family. I don't think they are here. Setul Prabhu, Manjila Mataji and family. Next is Mayank Shah Prabhu and family. Krishna Prema Prabhu, Sumangla Mataji and family. And last but not least, there are at least 20 other volunteers who wants to remain anonymous. So definitely for them as well as Varsana Mataji said we have a lot of people who came and cooked and they already left because they had other things to do, and there are sort of a lot of silent heroes who have been cooking and cleaning. So let us pray for them. One loud Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.